Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review of Season 2 of Call of the Night, Episode 19. And so, after we got most of Nazuna's backstory with her mom and how she met Kubra. So after the end, when the detective kicks in that room that Kubra used to stay in when she was a patient, the whole room was empty, and it's like, I got here too late. So next time we see her outside, it's like, next time, just gotta have patience. And then we come back with Kubra talking with Nazuna and Ko. So it's like, hey, good thing you told me about the detective. Otherwise, she would have found my personal stuff there. So it's a good thing I moved them. So thanks for giving me the heads up. And then she gets a little bit more details about Nazuna's parents. That after she married her human husband, that she refused to drink any more blood, and so she died first, and then shortly afterwards, Nazuna's father did. Now, part of me would have wondered who was Nazuna's father, what kind of a guy he was. He said he was, for what Cooper described too about Nazuna's mom, said that he was a very kind, sincere guy. So so after that, she goes and flies off, and next thing you know, she worked with the other vampire, Midori, the one who in the first season, was part of that group along with Kubra, Nazca, and she's the one who worked at the maid cafe. So they go with her to like part of town in Tokyo, and she goes and visits this guy who she turned into her offspring. Um, as this guy who he's a guy that who when she met was which Midori said that it was her type of guy, right? These kind of nerdy, these type of guys. It was her type of guy, right? And when she first met him, like he's a very kind guy. He's not afraid to speak his mind. He doesn't think too low of himself. And it was a dream, and Midori to him, Midori was the girl of his dreams. So when she told him that she was a vampire, never took it, never questioned it. He never questioned her that she was a vampire, and hey, as long as I get to be with you, be around you, or I'm totally fine with it. He said it doesn't matter if you're a human, vampire, or someone else. It doesn't matter because it's love. That's why. She turned him, and we see him that he's like this big fanboy, has all this anime stuff in his room, and asking about what was her personal life. Midori's human past was, and then he gets a little bit about his trying to remember his past life, because when he turned, right before he was human, like he used to be a skinny guy, and when he met her at the university, and he used to draw what was quote smut, though, like some type of smut that's like it's like like those dirty kind of like dirty magazines or dirty mangas where you prefer it, right? And he used to try to draw it because he got used her as his inspiration, right? And so he was poor at drawing until he finally learned a couple of lessons. He manufactured his own book or manga, like 500 copies, but he went to this convention center and no one bought them. No one bought them, and so he just packed them up, and they were just in boxes still. And then when he became a vampire, he doesn't remember making those. So when he read them, he's like, "Oh, this art is so terrible," and it's like, well, in your human life, you tried. At least you tried, despite the artwork not being not so good though. But I remember they told him about this detective who, all your personal stuff, can be your weakness. So by the end, they decided to burn his mangas, his copies. So and then afterwards, like that we hear that where Nazo takes Ko to this certain place. There's a spot where she used to go to, to make her feel better, to clear her mind, make her feel better. You know, look, it's like a little spot where it overviews the city in the distance, and it's in very a nice, pretty sight. It's like wondering how all the humans are doing down there, and she was always questioning when she went back then when she used to question like, what are humans? You know, and each human down there doing their own thing and stuff. So when Coda says, "Hey, why don't we go find other special places like the ocean?" She's never been there and he's never been there. It's like, hey, that's a good idea. But overall, yeah, it was nice about it. But after, of course, you stick around after the credits though. They decided to check out one other place that may be familiar to her in this school. I don't think it's co-school. It's a different type of school. So if you stick around with the credits, they go to this school. So, but overall, yeah. Another enjoyable episode. Introduced this new character that Midori, who this guy who said he was quote her type of guy. but But overall, yeah, we're getting more of these other backstories of these other vampires of their personal human lives. You know, well, since Nazla didn't have a human life to start with, she was born vampire type despite being half human as well. So, and also she said, "Hey, since I was raised without no parents, I can never really know what their deaths was. So, because I wasn't around back then, so." Well, I wasn't around them when I was being raised, so. But overall, yeah. But part of me wonder what we see more different about her dad was. What type, he said he was a sincere kind of guy, but I wonder what type of person he was. Though, like his job, whatever. You know, what made him be attracted to Nezuko's mom. So, but I don't know. But I always wonder about that part though after watching that. So, but the detective is still hot on their trail still, so. But then we go visit the school now, and so we go deeper more into more in the past. So, but overall, it was still an enjoyable episode. I still enjoy it. Season 2 has been a good season though. I would say a good solid season so far. Now is the best of this, and now is the best one. No, because let's say it came out with 3 other ones. Like you got Dan Da Dan, you got My Dress Up Darling, Kaiju number 8. So. Sadly, of all the 4, it's ranked last for me, though, sad to say. Because Kaiju number 8, Don Da Da Don, and My Dress Up Darling, they're just neck and neck, you know, so. Sadly, I enjoy Season 2 of Call of the Night. It's still solid, though, but it's stuck in last because you have 3 other mega series of shows still right in front of them. But overall, yeah, but it was still enjoyable episode. I'm still enjoying the season so far. So, episode 19 of Call of the Night of Season 2. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time. Later.